What's up guys, Brad here from Piney Grove, and a few weeks ago we bought this John Deere or Frontier 6-foot finish mower and we put brand new blades on it. And a couple of days ago I mowed about 5 acres out here at Piney Grove. Even though I didn't hit too much dirt and I didn't hit any sticks or anything like that, I could tell at the end of the mowing it wasn't mowing as well, and that's because the blades are already dull. So we're going to take off the blades and show you how we sharpen them. But leave a comment down below if you see something that we're doing wrong. This is the way that we know how to sharpen blades, but you may have a better idea. These blades go on and off real easy. It's just this one bolt. This spindle cover stays here, and there's 2 washers. It's not very complicated, and it's not a lot to get right to put it back on. I'm just going to loosen them with the wrench and then come back by hand and drop all 3 blades. One thing you don't ever want to do is over torque these or break off this bolt inside that spindle. That'll be an expensive bad day. So the setup's pretty simple. You have that round hole that fits over top of a bushing that sticks down from the spindle, and then you have a bolt and 2 washers. Because this is a rear discharge mower, I don't have to change the order of the blades because all the grass clippings go out the back. Whereas if this was a 0-turn mower, one of these blades would work harder as it sends grass out a side chute. That's assuming your 0-turn is a side chute. If your 0-turn is rear discharge, then it would operate the same way. I'm going to put my plug in now for rear discharge. We wanted a rear discharge 0-turn, but unfortunately one at the right price range wasn't available, so we got a side discharge. And now that I have this rear discharge finish mower, I'm wishing our 0-turn was rear discharge as well. So before we start sharpening, let's take a close-up look at these blades. Now these blades were put on brand new a couple days ago, and they mowed about 5 acres. And there was a little bit of dirt and a stick or 2 here and there. Nothing like rocks or pebbles or anything like that. And you can see how rounded off and not sharp these blades are. And every one of them is the same way. There's no chunks or anything missing out of them. You'll see that on the very edge of the tip, you can see a little bit of tip wear. But pretty much they're worn evenly, but by mowing the same amount of acreage every week, you can see it won't take long before you don't have much blade left. And that's something we're discovering quick because this is the first year that we've owned a 0-turn, and it's the first year we've owned a finish mower. And you can see all that grass out there behind us, and it's not just our pasture grass. We have a state road out there that's about 1,000 feet of road frontage, so we got to mow probably 30 feet of that, plus all this acreage, plus we have a 3/4 mile walking trail all the way around the property that needs to be mowed, and there's a 1-acre field in the back that will be mowed occasionally. So there's a lot of mowing going on out here, and we're finding out that when the 0-turn works all day and this finish mower works all day, that's it for those blades. You need to swap out a fresh set of sharp blades, sharpen the old ones, and get it ready for the next cycle. So we're investigating that and trying to figure out if there's something we can do differently, because that's a lot of time, effort, and expense. We'll probably go through 2 sets of blades per machine, and at $60 a set for the Kubota 0-turn, that's $120, and at $100 a set here, times 2, that's $200. That's $320 in mower blades just to keep Piney Grove mowed and looking good. We've got a video out there on how to sharpen brush hog blades, and I sharpen my brush hog just about every time I use it because I want a nice clean cut. And I know that leads to increased blade wear, but it's better to have that clean cut. It's more efficient for the tractor, it's more efficient cutting, and it's cleaner cutting. And when you're mowing with a brush hog, you want a nice clean cut on your grass so your grass isn't susceptible to disease with a ragged cut. I saw a lot of recommendations for this sanding disc, and it's just a bunch of sandpaper that's glued together on a disc for your grinder. And I actually tried this disc on the 0-turn blades an hour or so ago, and while it takes off way less metal, there's some areas of a blade you have to take off a lot of metal, so you wear this down quickly, and this is fairly expensive. I'll put a link down below on Amazon because that's where I got it from, but this is way more expensive than a grinding disc, and a grinding disc lasts a lot longer. So I switched over to this grinding wheel on the 0-turn mower blades, and that's what I'm going to use here as well. I'd love to use this to preserve the blades, the metal on the blades, but it just takes too long, and I'm going to wear this out, and I don't think that's cost effective. I've got a super simple setup for sharpening blades. Just take this metal sawhorse, put a piece of 2x4 on it, and then put the blade in a way so that I can get to the edge easy. and then take one of these clamps. This is just an Irwin quick clamp, and clamp it down, and then try to maintain that same angle across there. I'm really shocked at how rounded these blades are. I thought I'd get a couple mowings out of them, but they are rounded, and you could tell at the end it wasn't cutting as good, and it was leaving a lot more stems of the bahia grass we have in our pasture. So let's clean this up. So what I want to do is maintain this angle as much as possible. So I'll take the grinder and try to hold it at that angle, but I'm a human and I'm not perfect, so I'm not going to get it exactly right, but that's the goal, is maintain that angle and just kind of cut in about, I don't know, a 1/16 of an inch here. I know I've maintained that angle when I'm removing metal across this whole edge of this blade, but it's going to take a bit to get down to where this is sharp, where this rounded edge is. And it's not rounded up under the bottom, so I don't have to hit it at all from the bottom. At least 75% better than what it was, and I don't want to over sharpen it. Well, it's still a little rounded right here on the edge. I'm going to hit this a little bit more. We're going to call that good. I'm trying to maintain the same amount of grinding here as I do here, and that way I won't have an imbalanced blade. You can actually balance a blade, you know, hold it up on your finger or a dowel or something, and then grind the side that it tilts towards, but I don't think we're in that bad a shape that we have to do that. So that's one side. We have 3 blades with 2 sides, so this is not a fast process. And to have to do this every time, after every mowing, so basically I'd be doing this every week. These blades are just really, really rounded. I'm shocked at how rounded this blade is. The perfect thing to do now would be to hit that with the sanding disc and get that smooth and get that final finish. But that requires swapping on the grinder, and I don't really have time for that. But that blade's done, 2 more to go. All right, all 3 blades are sharp. Now we're just gonna put them back on. They don't have to go back in any specific order, and I didn't keep track of where they came from. I'm just gonna put them back up as I sharpened them and laid them down here. Now this is a lot easier to do than the Kubota, because the Kubota required you to hold the spindle cover up, and then it had 2 crush washers, and then it has a washer that fits over like a 5-sided socket, or bolt head, I guess would be a better term. Kubota is real hard to line up. That circle just goes over this land right here. I try to put the blades 180 out from each other. I don't even know if that matters, because if the pulley slips just a little bit, the blades will go where they want to go. But the way I have it set up is that this one is here and that one's there, so that there's no tip-to-tip engagement. Again, I don't know that that matters. If you know better than me, certainly leave a comment down below. I am going to use the impact to tighten these, but I'm going to be careful I don't over tighten. Just going to watch it real close as I tighten it. As soon as it stops spinning, I know that's as tight as I can get it by hand, so I just let off the trigger. Last one, and then we're done. The easy part is taking the blades on and off. All right guys, that's gonna do it for today's video on removing blades from a finish mower, sharpening them, and then putting them back on. If you have any ideas for a better blade strategy than what we talked about here in this video, please leave a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. We'll put a couple links up here to a couple of our other videos. YouTube likes it when you watch one of our videos and then watch another one back to back. It helps the algorithm and tells YouTube to promote our videos even more. But that's going to do it for today's video. So until next time, y'all take care out there. And remember, life's short, tractor hard.